It's
Yeah.
when you're ready to make a change.
Yeah.
The universe just starts to come to your aid.
There you go.
Things that were in your way, they're not there anymore. People who were either a hindrance, sometimes they become a help.
Yeah.
So it's just all about you getting your mind ready for the journey.
Thomas Roach, Director of Marketing with Senior Life Insurance Company. We're at the beautiful home office in Thomasville, Georgia. And like always, we are all fired up. We have a very special guest, somebody we tried to get on here before, and we weren't able to, but he was very gracious to travel down here and to do this podcast with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend Rodrick from the MVP Group. Rodrick, how are you today?
Thomas, I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking.
I really appreciate you coming down here. We were just talking. You drove down here. About 7 or 8 hours with some detours.
Yep.
Got up early this morning.
Yep. 4:00 rise, and we got on the road around 5:00.
Okay, so you got to see the sun come up from the highway today.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, I do appreciate you coming and joining us and doing this today, even after a long trip.
My pleasure.
One thing about you, though, is you are an extremely hard worker, so I feel like this is just another day for you.
Exactly.
So it's not too new. So let's kind of take it back to the beginning for you and your journey with Senior Life. How long have you been with Senior Life?
I want to say I got started back in June of 2014.
Okay, so you've been with us for a little bit.
Yeah.
So what was that like for you whenever you first started with the company?
It was a little different.
Okay.
I come from a background of being in the insurance industry for now 22 years.
Right.
But I've always been kind of a solo artist, truly an independent agent.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of, did things to the beat of my own drum. So when I, got with Doc Lewis,
right,
it was a little different,
Yeah.
because there was structure there. So it wasn't something I was totally welcoming because it was new to me.
I got you.
I was used to doing things my way,
Right.
but my way wasn't working.
Right.
So I was open-minded to looking at something that was against really what I wanted to do, but it was actually what I needed to do.
When did you have, I think everybody, when that happens, they have an aha moment. And it might not be in the beginning. Sometimes it's later, sometimes it's earlier. When for you, did you have a specific moment where you were like, hey, this structure, this system is what I need? When was that for you?
I want to say, it took a while for me. I didn't get started fast. I didn't come out of the gate as a top producer or wasn't in management at all.
Right.
That took, a few years,
Right.
honestly. But the aha moment for me was probably in Atlanta in 2018.
Right.
That was the aha moment. That's when everything I was being taught and mentored to do started to make sense.
Okay.
So I wanted to start it to get all in with following the system that was in place.
What was it about that event? Was it Inky speaking? Like, was it his speech that did it? Was it the guest speakers, the environment? What was it? Was it just a moment that just came over you?
It was a combination of things.
Okay.
It was overcoming some of the obstacles and moving some things out of the way just to get to the event. And then seeing other people there having success,
Right.
And seeing the sparkle in their eyes. Well, when Inky Johnson was doing his speech, he talked about, remembering the moment,
Yeah.
remembering the mood you were in when you said what you would do long after the mood is gone.
Right.
And, that's been a journey for me. You say what you're going to do,
Right.
but when that mood, kind of dies down, you kind of go back to what you were doing. And I knew I needed to do something totally different because going back to who Rodrick wasn't going to cut it. Wasn't going to help me take care of my family.
Right.
Wasn't going to take care of those children. Wasn't going to get me to the level I needed to be as a father, as a professional.
Right.
So I wanted to dig in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was all in that moment. That's really
Right.
amazing. And I'm very happy. We're very grateful that you came to that event because, it might have been longer before you had your moment.
Tell me about it.
And I will say, as long as I've known you, the last, I would say, couple of years, you've really excelled and really kind of catapulted from what you were before.
Right.
You mentioned you'd been in insurance, you said 22 years.
22 years.
And so before being with Senior Life, what was that kind of like? Did you have your own agency? Was it more just an agent by yourself, just trying to be a personal producer? What was that kind of experience like back then?
99% of it was just being an independent agent. Having an office doesn't, give you an agency. It's just you in the office.
Right.
Had some success.
Yeah.
Not on the levels of success of, what we see here at, Senior Life with a lot of the agents and managers. Earned some money, but had a lot of ups and downs.
I got you.
Had a lot of ups and downs. More downs than ups, in the beginning.
Yeah.
Mixed things up a lot, And the funny thing about it, Thomas, I got introduced to final expense, back in the early 2000s.
Okay.
With that other company.
Right.
It just wasn't a good fit for me there.
Yeah.
So I never gave my all there. Never really plugged in.
I got you.
So, that opportunity, that ship kind of sailed by.
Yeah.
And one of the things also at that event in 2018, Dale Powell talked about, the ship of opportunity for most of us in life will come around once.
Right.
But for those individuals that are lucky or just simply blessed, it may come around twice.
I got you.
And when Lewis reached out to me, that was the opportunity, that ship sailing by me for a second time.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh, wow. So what was it about Lewis or that initial conversation? Did he know you prior to that? Okay. So
Lewis and I have known each other.
Okay.
We weren't friends.
Yeah.
We were business associates.
Yeah.
He was in the mortgage business.
Yeah.
And I was a loan originator. So he had processed, a few, mortgages for me.
Right.
Helping some of my clients.
Right.
What I've known of Lewis was he was a hard worker.
Yeah.
Successful.
Yes.
Always known him to be successful.
Yeah.
So that was our dealings. Periodically I would send some mortgage business his way.
Okay.
And he would process it. I'm the loan originator. I would earn some money.
Right.
So that was our relationship. I met Lewis through a mutual friend named Jeff.
Okay.
So if it was not for Jeff, I wouldn't know Lewis. So the beautiful thing about it, when the mortgage business collapsed, that kind of ended, my and Lewis's conversations, because we didn't really have anything else to talk about.
Right.
Our connection was the mortgage business. So probably in 2012, when he was really taking a serious look at getting in the final expense, he called me.
Okay.
He called me and asked my opinion on final expense and a direction that he was getting ready to pursue.
Because by that point you were already in it. Is that the
timeline?
I
was, the way I made my living primarily was life insurance.
Right.
And he was looking at getting into the final expense business with the same company that I previously looked at the business with.
Right.
So I gave him my honest opinion. And then he and I didn't talk for a while. And then maybe 6 months to a year later, in 2013, he started reaching out to me about, getting on a conference call. Kind of like, I'm used to reaching out to people today to get them on a conference call. Months would go by and I never responded.
Yeah.
So I went back through my Google app and I found when I first responded to him, it was November 17th, 2013.
Oh, wow.
He invited me on a conference call and I remember responding, Lewis, what's up, man? His response was, listen, get on the call, bro.
Right.
And that was the start of me taking a serious look at final expense for the second time.
So when he says get on the call, bruh, is it spelled B-R-O or B-R-U-H?
B-R-U-H.
Because that's a different...
Yeah.
And
that's kind of like, look, man.
Right.
I've been reaching out to you for a long time.
Right.
How about listening to the call?
Right.
Bruh.
Right. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. You put it exactly what I was thinking. So with that, how'd that initial call go? I mean, because I feel like you're apprehensive at this point.
Well, I'm apprehensive.
Right.
I had, failed in the insurance business.
Right.
So I'm kind of literally on a Sunday evening sitting there holding two twins in my arms, almost out of the life insurance business altogether.
Wow.
Thomas, I had gone back to doing what I did previously, and that was painting, okay? And not painting sculptures or pictures, painting homes, painting houses.
Okay.
Doing, odd and end jobs. Thankful to be working though.
Yeah.
Because that was helping me to pay the bills.
Right.
But that's not where I needed to be.
Yeah.
I needed to be doing something totally different. And I needed to be in the area where I was good at. And that was helping people.
Yeah.
With these benefits and helping people be great.
Right.
I just didn't know how to get back going. I was kind of, always, trying to get from being stuck.
Yeah.
So I needed some help to get from being stuck. So when Lewis reached out to me, I didn't get started with him right away.
Right.
We started, having a lot of dinner, a lot of lunch meetings.
I got you.
He would invite me to come and sit down and let's talk about, getting back started.
Right.
He mentioned lunch. Hey, I wasn't doing nothing.
Right.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
And that went on for a while. And, what made me want to, take a serious look at what, Lewis was doing.
Right.
Was, he wasn't pressuring me.
Okay.
And even though he wasn't making any money off of me, because I wasn't in business with him, he would check on me every morning. He would ask me about my family. We got reacquainted, so he knew about my children. He would ask about my children. And one day he told me, man, he said, Rod, there's a lot of money in this business. He said, I believe you can do it.
Yeah.
He said, but the most important thing he said to me was, I'm going to help you. He said, I'm going to help you.
How much of an impact did just him saying that have on you?
It was huge.
Yeah. When you were painting, did you feel deflated at that point? Like you feeling getting out of mortgage and stuff, and then and that's an honest living, and I've done it myself. So it's it's a good job, but whenever you, like you said, you're trying to help people,
right?
It's a different experience.
It was a tremendous difference.
Yeah.
You need to be doing something different.
Yeah.
And you need to be, providing better for your family.
Mm-hmm.
But that just wasn't the vehicle for me.
Right.
I felt honestly like I was taking up someone else's, position. I was in someone else's space.
Yeah.
That someone else could, do that job and it would be meaningful for them.
Yeah.
And they would be great at it.
Yeah.
I needed to be where I needed to be.
Right.
And I just didn't know how to get from being stuck.
Yeah.
And he gave me that olive branch.
I feel like him saying, I'll help you, that hit you right in the heart.
Yeah.
Right in the chest.
Because I didn't know who to turn to.
I got you.
When that former company that I dealt with, there was a manager there, love her to death. She's always been one of my role models.
Yeah.
Inspiration.
Right.
Her name is Judy. Great lady.
Yeah.
Worked with me for years. And one day I went by the office. I was dressed in my paint clothes, and when she came around the corner to open the door, I saw the disgust on her face.
Wow.
Not the disgust that I was a painter, the disgust that I wasn't living up to my potential. And the conversation she had with me was, I can't believe that you're not trying to be great at this. She said, I refuse to believe that, a Rodney is better than you. She said, I refuse to believe that a Furman is better than you. She said, I even refuse to believe that a Judy is better than you. She said, you're not trying. And she said, this is it. I'm done. And
that's pretty big. Did you agree with her in that moment?
The hurt was not that she said that, but the hurt came because I agreed with her. And the hurt came because I had performed with such lackluster that someone could make that assessment of me.
So you were disappointed in yourself?
I was disappointed in myself.
Wow.
I wasn't disappointed in what she said.
Yeah.
I was disappointed in myself.
Wow.
And so I needed to, find a way to get back going. And that was kind of like what Michael Jordan talked about.
Yeah.
Getting cut from his varsity basketball team.
Right.
A little wood on the fire.
Right.
To make the fire burn.
Yeah. And look who he became.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So she says that and it hits you right in your heart. And then Lewis says, I'm going to help you. And it hits you right in your heart. But you said yourself, there's still a delay.
It's always going to be that delay.
But what is that delay? What was that delay for you? Kind of explain that to me. What was going on?
Getting your mind right. We have a tendency, to always listen to ourselves. We're always the smartest person in the room.
Right.
And most of the time, you're the only person in the room. So thankfully, you are the smartest person.
Right.
But even when you're in the room with a crowd, you still think that you're the know-it-all.
Yeah, that's true.
And you think you're going to find a way to outsmart, systems that work.
Yeah.
So I had to get out of my own way. I've always had a problem. And, a lot of people can relate to this. And this is why I'm willing to share it.
Right.
A lot of us have a problem listening to other people. Not that we want to be, disgruntled or argumentative. We want to be able to say, I did it my way and I won. I did it my way. I wanted to be like Frank Sinatra. It just didn't work out for me.
So you were in your own way.
I was in my own way.
Trying to do it your own way.
Just doing things my way.
Wow.
Tripping over my own feet.
Yeah.
And not looking to seek advice and counsel. Counsel and advice has been there for me. I wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
So what I found in Lewis was the individual that I was willing to allow to counsel me.
Yeah.
And when I really made up in my mind that I wanted to do this, as the old saying says, when the pupil is ready, the teacher appeared.
Wow.
Yeah.
With Lewis, he is a very straightforward person.
Right.
He is very much to the point. A lot of people may, especially if they're in their own way, wanting to do it their own way, may have a hard time with that.
Right.
Might have been Shiraka that talked about how to be a good mentor, you have to also be a tough one.
Right.
How much of that had an impact on you when you started working with him? He started helping you, mentoring you. How important was it that he kept it real with you and was able to do that?
Oh, I mean, it was tremendous.
Yeah.
It was needed because doing it my way had got me where I was. And one day he told me something. He said, hey, guy, I'm going to just have to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you something. You're probably not going to like it, but I'm going to tell you anyway. He said, I want you to stop listening to yourself. He said, because listening to yourself has got you to wherever you are in life today.
So that's how you got over it?
Huh?
That because you said you were in your way? That's how you got over it?
Well, that was one of the things that he would tell me.
Okay.
Now, it took a while for that to sink in.
I got you.
Because when he would first tell me those things, I didn't like it,
Right.
But, I've always been a respectful individual.
Right.
If you're telling me the truth, I may not like it, but I'm going to go and think about it. So I would go and think about it. And Thomas, it was just a process of being around the system that he had in place, getting on a mentoring program, getting on the reading program.
Yeah.
You got to work on yourself.
Yeah.
If you're in your own way, you got to make yourself better. In order for things to change, you have to change. And the best way to change is to renew your mind. And, Lewis would recommend books for me to read.
Right.
The same books that, is recommended to all our agent partners.
Yeah.
That just to work on the mind.
Right.
Getting you ready.
Definitely.
For the journey.
And then in 2018, we have our big event. Dale speaks.
Right.
Which speaks to you. Inky speaks, which speaks to you.
Right.
So that's your turning point.
That became the turning point. It became the turning point. I started to see some light.
I got you.
I started to, find a reason to be at all the events. The things that used to be the reason why I couldn't be there became the reason why I needed to be there, why I had to be there.
What do you mean by that? What's that mean?
Well, a lot of times you always got excuses why you can't make a training, why you can't be on a call.
Right.
You don't have a babysitter. You don't have a vehicle to get there.
Right.
You don't have any money.
Right.
But all those reasons that kept me from doing the business at a top level became the reasons why I needed to do the business as a top level. So instead of my glass being half empty, my glass became half full.
That speaks just volumes, because that is the reality. If you're saying I can't get there because I have no car, well, shouldn't you be working hard to get a car?
Exactly.
If you're having those issues. So
exactly.
I think that's the quote
Thomas,
at the beginning.
Here's the thing. The car that couldn't get you there, now that same car can get you there.
Yeah.
A lot of time it's all mindset.
Yeah.
It's all mindset. The same, person who wouldn't watch your children, guess what? That's the same person that's now watching your children. It's when you're ready to make a change.
Yeah.
The universe just starts to come to your aid.
There you go.
Things that were in your way they're not there anymore. People who were either a hindrance, sometimes they become a help.
Yeah.
So it's just all about you getting your mind ready for the journey.
There it is. Jeez, right there. That's another quote. We got a lot of good quotes in this one right here. Yeah. So then what's next? After you get your mind right, what happens next? 2018 leads to
2018 leads to going into 2019 determined to get on the lead system. Work the leads harder.
Yeah.
2019 January, put on the blinders. Never sold $10,000 at Senior Life.
Right.
January 2019, I crossed over that threshold.
How did that feel?
Oh man, it was monumental.
Yeah.
It was monumental. It was like breaking the 1 mile barrier.
Right.
With the 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Now others can do it. And now you can do it again.
Yeah.
And I saw that as a huge accomplishment. I saw the income that came with, getting to $13,000 in production.
Yeah.
I started to refer to that as the sweet spot.
Right.
If we can show agent partners how to get to $13,000 and beyond, they're going to hit the sweet spot.
Yeah.
They're going to start experiencing some great income.
Yeah.
And then they're going to start knowing that, hey, I can help people with this benefit.
Yeah.
I can help people with this service. So that was the start of knowing that I can get out here and really work final expense as an agent, as a final expense specialist.
So prior to that, because your recruiting numbers for the last, 2 years have been really exceptional. You're constantly high up on our leaderboards and everything. You're constantly recruiting at a high volume. But prior to 2018, are you really recruiting as much? When does that start for you?
I started looking into the recruiting aspect in 2016.
Okay.
And the reason why most agents don't recruit, they don't know how to.
Okay.
They don't know what to say. No one has never mentored them.
Right.
The reason why I never did anything in agency building, I didn't know how to. I didn't know what to say. And it doesn't count when you got some of your friends that, the 2 of you or the 3 of you kind of just do whatever each other's doing. Those are not considered, recruits or hires.
Right.
Hires when you're pretty much going out there and you're sharing this opportunity with people. A lot of times you don't even know, but you're doing such a great job sharing the information, plugging them into the system that they get started. And then you help them stay started.
Yeah. How does that feel whenever you do that? Whenever you see somebody that's painting houses and then you bring them into Senior Life, what's that mean to you?
Man, there's a feeling inside that you can't really explain because you're helping people.
Right.
You're providing them now with an opportunity that they can take care of their families. And nothing is, better than that. Yeah, we get an override, but we get excited knowing that they are earning, commissions for selling final expense.
Yeah.
And they're going to be able to take care of their families.
Yeah.
That's the big reward.
And it's amazing too. That's the amazing thing about this company and this business. You are selling final expense, so you're taking care of your family as you take care of somebody else's family, and you give them that peace of mind.
Right.
So for yourself, one thing that you mentioned constantly is the system.
Right.
You talked about how you worked against it, and we all wound up working against you because of that. How important is it to have a system? Because a lot of people, you spoke so well about it, but a lot of people just don't think they can do it their own way.
Man, I'm here to tell you, Thomas, don't follow my path.
Okay.
It should not take you 10, 15 years. It shouldn't take you 5 years.
Yeah.
It's going to take you that long if you try to do it your way. Now, some people are going to do it their way, Thomas, and they're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
I equated to winning the lottery. Some people are going to play the scratch off and win.
Yeah, you're right.
But how many play the scratch off and lose?
You're right. Yeah,
well,
you're right.
That's the equivalent to not having a system, not having a blueprint.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to generate much more success and generate it much more faster when you got a system that you can plug into.
Right.
Something that's already been tried, tested, and proven.
Right.
And that's what I found when I got with Lewis and Consolidated Planning.
Yeah.
I found a system that was working. Now, I fought against it because I wanted to do things my way.
Right.
But I kept looking around at people being successful. They were coming through the door after me, and they were being successful.
Yeah.
What was different with them, versus myself?
Yeah.
It was they were being plugged in. They were plugging themselves in and staying plugged in. They were on the calls. They were making the trainings, and they were going out in the field doing the work.
Yeah,
that going out in the field, that I call it the applied knowledge, the activity knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, you learn so much.
Yeah,
you learn so much. Lewis always calls it walking and chewing bubblegum. Selling final expense, putting people in benefits.
Yeah.
And also talking to people about becoming agents.
Yeah.
Those are the things that in this business we have to do and do a lot of.
Yeah.
We have to put people in benefits, protect these individuals and their families, and share the career opportunity. We got to talk to more people.
On top of having a system, one thing that you mentioned earlier that, we definitely always want to maintain a focus on is we have a very good lead system here at Senior Life.
Right.
Like, it is very exceptional. How important is it to you for agents to make sure they take 20 or more leads a week?
Thomas, it's tremendous. In order for agents to be able to be successful, they got to have people to see.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I had to get over was the fear of leads.
So you have a fear of them?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, most agents, we're not going to go see them.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to go see the leads, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to earn any money.
Right.
And you're going to develop a lead balance.
Yeah.
Right. So, you have to get yourself over the fear of getting out of your door.
Okay.
I even spoke with Ron Powell last year in Columbia. He said, the hardest thing he's discovered was getting agents to leave their door. It's not getting them to, work and get out in the field, but leaving home to go to work. So the leads are important because they're going to give you someone to go and see. They're going to give you a place to go to work. That's where the magic happens.
Right.
They get you out the door.
Yeah.
And when you get out the door, that's where the magic happens. And when we work with our agent partners, we're going to show them what to do when they're on the lead system.
Yeah.
We just don't believe in giving them leads and not supporting them.
Yeah.
Not making sure they know what they're doing. We want them to make sure that they understand what the lead system is all about.
Yeah.
So that they're going to be, the most effective with the lead system.
Wow.
And our agents, are some of the most successful with the lead program. So, it's working.
Definitely it is. It's very important, and I think one thing that you mentioned, do you think people are afraid to go outside? Like, I'm not talking about the current climate, but just in general, do you think that some agents put an actual fear in themselves and they're afraid to just leave their house? Do you think it's laziness? What do you think attributes to that?
I do. And it has nothing to do with COVID because, a lot of times agents aren't going out. I know because, I wasn't going out.
Yeah.
One of the reasons was you just didn't want to go out, because you might become successful. And then you got to keep doing it. So a lot of times it's almost like going up to the bat. You're gonna strike out, but you're going to just stand there and watch the ball go by. So you think that's different than going down swinging.
Right.
No, it's worse.
Right.
Because you didn't try.
Yeah.
Getting those leads and getting out that door, getting to that first door by 9:00 and staying out. That's what we teach.
Yeah.
We teach being at that first door at 9:00. Right. And don't make a sale and go back home. You want to stay out.
Yeah.
Our most successful agents, we have a lot of them, Marcia. We have Zenobia. We have Doris. We have Jamie. We have Samantha. We have Deb. We have a lot of agents that when they get out, they stay out.
I got you.
And by getting out and staying out, being true to the system,
right,
it rewards you.
Absolutely.
It rewards you.
One person you mentioned was Marcia. She is somebody, I'm just going to look into the camera and say that we really want to get on this podcast. So I'm putting that out in the universe. And I'm going to ask for your help to help me get that.
Phenomenal young lady.
I need to get Marcia. I need you on the podcast very much. For your group, MVP, what's the future look like? What are some of your goals? What are you thinking about beyond 2020 as we come to a close for the year?
Man, 2020, I can't, talk about 2021 until I just, recap on 2019 and 2020 if I can.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
We were talking about the change, what happened.
Yeah.
The plugging in. working the lead system, and then starting to talk to more people.
Yeah.
Inviting people to the meetings, inviting people, on the calls. And, Lewis would always talk about being one person away from changing your business, from doubling and tripling and quadrupling your business.
Right.
That happened for me. By June of 2019, my agency was doing around $19,000 in production.
Okay.
By June of 2020, we were doing over 262,000. It was the following the system,
right,
sharing the career opportunity, staying plugged in,
right,
and inviting people to take a serious look at this. And we started adding more pieces to the puzzle. Recruited and hired a young man named Todd who reached out and got Zenobia on one of the conference calls.
Okay.
And from there, Lewis introduced me to Doris and got her involved. So
right.
in the middle part of the summer of 2019, brought on 2 superstars in Final Expense. But the great thing about it, they were superstars somewhere else. They weren't superstars in Final Expense yet. They had never sold Final Expense.
Okay.
They were superstars in other businesses that had nothing to do with Final Expense.
Right.
So they learned the system here, partnering up with myself in Consolidated Planning.
Yeah.
And in a short period of time, following the system, they started to have a lot of success, and then we started to add some more pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
One of the great pieces to my puzzle that everybody tries to give all my credit to,
right,
is my wife Amanda.
That was going to be my next question right there. You took my question.
Lewis says, Rod brought a few great pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
He found Zenobia, found Doris, and he found his wife, Amanda. And I have to say yes, because, she's been a major impact to helping to ground me, to keep me focused, and our agency has benefited tremendous from it. I was talking with Lewis in 2019, we did $432,000 in production, the MVP group for the year. Yeah. Right now we're over $1.6 million. What a difference a year makes.
Yeah.
And we still got all of November left.
Yes.
And December.
Yes.
The goal is to get over $2 million. And I believe we can do it. We just want to stay true to the system.
Yeah.
Keep helping people with Final Expense, keep hiring agents.
Yeah.
And we're looking for even a brighter 2021.
Yeah.
The theme always at Consolidated Planning, and it kind of just feeds down into the other agencies, is always double.
Always
and
double.
Why not?
Yeah.
Double.
Yeah.
And why not?
Yeah.
So, the goal would be to double for 2021.
Yeah.
Double in helping people with Final Expense. So our production would double, and double our efforts in hiring agents.
Yeah.
People need to hear more about this career opportunity.
Yeah.
It's changed my life for the better.
Yeah.
And it's changed, countless other agents here for the better. So why not share it?
Definitely.
Yeah. Why not share it?
So, like I said, you kind of took part of my next question. Tell me about your wife. Tell me about Amanda. How did y'all meet?
We met through the business.
Yeah.
I was always told that I would meet my wife. I would meet my soulmate, and I would meet her through this business. So that, gave me a more of a incentive to do the business.
Right. Right.
And I met her through the business. I knew instantly that was the one that I was looking for.
Yeah.
And shortly after that, didn't take a long time. I'm a firm believer.
Right.
It doesn't take a long time to know that if someone's for you.
Yeah.
It didn't take me a long time.
Yeah.
I met her in 2019, and for my birthday in 2020, in February, we got married.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got married. And man, I'm living my best life. She's the love of my life.
Yeah.
We have a blended family. We have 5 children total.
Yeah.
She has 2, I have 3. She loves my children. That was a game winner or a game breaker. And, children, it's hard for us to trick children.
Yes.
You can kind of act like you like my children, but my children will be like, you don't really like me.
Right.
But my children took to her, instantly.
Yeah.
So that was great to see. And she loves this business.
Yeah.
She loves helping people.
Definitely.
She loves seeing people get to the next level, and that's what I'm about. seeing people get to the next level. So that, that was just a win-win combination for me.
So the last 2 years have been just incredible for you.
I mean, when Jim Rohn says your life can change drastically over a 2-year period of time, he was telling the truth. Man. He was telling the truth. My life has changed tremendously for the better. And man, I owe it all to Final Expense, sticking and staying. Mm-hmm. And I got to give, Dr. Lewis, man, a lot of credit.
Absolutely.
Because if I wasn't in this business, I definitely wouldn't be having this kind of success.
Right.
Wouldn't be earning, the kind of income I'm earning.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have met my wife.
Right.
So, hats off to you, Doc. I owe you some lunch.
Right. Absolutely. What? This conversation has been absolutely amazing. Before we ever finish a podcast, I always try to give the guest an opportunity. If there's something we missed, something you want to say, anything you want to add before we get out of here today.
Man, I mean, we covered so much, Thomas.
Yeah, we did.
This has been great.
Yeah.
Just an opportunity to, be in this business.
Yeah.
It's such a life-changing career opportunity. Anyone in the listening audience, that's watching or viewing this podcast, man, I encourage you to take a serious look at Final Expense and what we're doing here. It can change your life financially for the better. You're going to be able to be in a system that's going to support you, that's going to help mentor, going to help train you, going to help build you to be a great Final Expense agent. So if that's what you're looking for, you can achieve that here. What we're doing here, I mean, we're just getting started.
Yes.
We're just, scratching, the scratch of the scratch,
Right.
That's an inside joke.
Right.
But guys, get excited. Thomas, Senior Life, thank you for the opportunity of having me on here.
Oh, definitely.
Looking forward to being able to do this again in the future.
Yes.
When we hit some more great numbers.
Yes.
Love to come back and, talk again with you.
Definitely. I appreciate you, Rodrick. I know, you and I have talked plenty of times in the past, but I will say that like in the last 2 years, like talking to you has been different. The way you talk, I don't know, it just seems, I don't know if your head's higher or what it is, but it's just very inspiring to watch. And I'm very happy that you stuck with it. And I'm really just super excited to see what the future holds for you, because I feel like this is nowhere near the success that you're going to be. And I just think, just as a person and as an agent, and just the time I've known you, you are somebody special, and you're going to make a huge impact on a lot of people. And I'm very fortunate to be in the audience for that. So I'm very excited to watch that as it continues.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Definitely.
Thank you. From the heart. Thank you.
Absolutely. So ladies and gentlemen, my friend Rodrick, and like we finish every single podcast, it's Senior Life, all your life.